Thank God we made it through January. Oh my God. Thank you, God, for bringing the girls through the 6 months that were January. Hello, everyone. My name is Naya, and welcome to another season of Let Me Just Say This. This is season 7. Hello, I have missed you guys so much. If you are new here, hello, welcome to the vibe, welcome to the tribe. Go ahead and subscribe because you are going to love it here, okay? And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, as you should, hello, hey, you see me, I see you, you look good, girl, me too. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to be back with you guys. I'm a little bit rusty, I'm not even gonna lie. I recorded this episode yesterday, February 1st, right? And I just thought to myself, girl, did you forget how to do this, bitch? Like, stand up. What is wrong with you? It's been a little bit of a minute. I know I left you guys in the new year because it was time for a little breaky, a little hiatus. And I meant to come back last week, but I decided, why not start back in Black History Month? Why not, let January do its thug fizzle? And when I say January very heavily, we're going to talk about it, okay? But I really wanted to come back here in February and really wish you guys a very, 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 very Black and very happy Black History Month, okay? We're going to talk a little bit more about why it is so important to celebrate this month, especially right now, given everything going on. We're going to get into that. And then I have a couple little life updates for you. You know how I do. So let's go ahead and get right on into this episode. But wait, girl, before we get into everything, I do have an announcement, and I am so grateful and so proud to let you guys know that Let Me Just Say This is officially affiliated with Black Girl Vitamins. If you know, you know. I am a Black Girl Vitamin user. I've been using Black Girl Vitamins for literally almost 2 years now, and baby, I love them down. So when I say I was in them emails and them DMs, like, hey, I'm sponsored the podcast. So this episode, this season of the pod is brought to you in part by Black Girl Vitamins. And I do have a coupon code for you guys. If you want to save 15% on your next order, you can use LMJST 15 and you can support the podcast. You will be supporting me, girl. Help me pay some of these bills. Trust me, I'm going to have a little ad cut next time for you guys, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the podcast is getting affiliated. We have a couple of things going on, moving some things in the background, girl, because I'm ready to elevate to the next level with you guys, and I'm doing this full time now. This is my thing now, and if you know, we need to make some money. So with all that being said, girl, I'm really, again, super proud to say we are affiliated with Black Girl Vitamins. Oh my gosh, January, where do we even start? First of all, why did January last 6 business months? What is going on? Why was January so fucking long? I feel like we've already lived half of the year in January, and girl, it's only January. I was exhausted by January 3rd. Okay? Which means, was I locked in the way I thought I was gonna be? Girl, absolutely not. Oh my God. At this stage in the game, girl, it is okay to restart your year in February, girl, because January was a shit show. So just let that go, restart in February, and now let's lock in. Let's tap in right now because, my God, today, January had too much going on. It had entirely too much going on. I think collectively we were all stressed out, especially here in the United States of America, girl. If you've been following the podcast on socials, you know that I've been very vocal about what's been going on in America, what's been going on with ICE, what's been going on with this regime we have going. And honestly, it's exhausting. And I think as a Black woman, it is even more exhausting because it's really jarring to see the response right now. It's very different. It's a very interesting time for us. And January, I spent a lot of my time personally, mentally preoccupied with the state of the world, with the state of the country, with what was going on with other people. And we walk into January with atrocities from ICE. I think we all expected January to look very different. We all expected January to look much better, but instead we walked into January with ICE unaliving American citizens and harming people, American citizen or not. I think at the end of the day, we're witnessing a lot of atrocities going on. We're witnessing Renee Good and Keith Porter Jr. and Alex Preddy. We're witnessing these things right before our eyes, and it is very difficult for me, I'll say, it is very difficult to just go along with like regular life as if these things aren't happening, especially when, we're in the middle of a winter storm too, girl, which side notes, the fact that they had Atlanta prepped and ready for a winter storm that did not come, a weekend that they said, girl, hey, buckle down, the ice is coming, girl. And we ain't talking about DHS ice. I'm talking about winter storm ice, baby. Okay. Didn't even come. The girls in Atlanta and the Georgia area were just like, and of course, other places where the storm didn't hit as hard as they said it would, they were just like, girl, what's happening? But however, it snowed this past weekend, the weekend leading into February. But during the time that we're seeing ICE, Department of Homeland Security ICE, unalive people, harm people, threaten people, they're treating this shit like Call of Duty. ICE is literally out here treating the streets of America as if it's a game of Call of fucking Duty. And I cannot, for me personally, it has been extremely difficult to grapple with and not say anything about. So I've been very, very vocal on my socials. And I think that all of us have just been witnessing this. And tying in the snowstorm, girl, we're in a scenario where people are at home on their phones and this is what they see. And a lot of us have become desensitized. I think a lot of us in the Black community have become very desensitized and very much so laissez-faire. Not all of us, but there is a common discourse about how Black people show up during this time, which we're going to discuss a little bit once we get into Black History Month commentary. But, I think that it's just been difficult to see everything going on and still have hope for the future and see everything going on and still, not be afraid. And I feel like there is cause to be afraid, but you still have to live your life. And you still have to move forward and press on and look for the good things, look for the things that are going to bring you joy, even when the world seems like it's burning down, girl. And I'm not going to lie, January really felt like, oh my gosh, the world is on fire. Let me know if you can relate to that, because that's how I felt. I felt like the world was on fire. I felt very upset. I found myself upset a lot. And honestly, it kind of started butting into my personal relationship, like literally so much so that I'm arguing with people, not just like online, but in real life. And oh my gosh. January was supposed to be lock-in time, discipline over motivation time, like focus, 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 focus time. And then we have all these distractions and these things that we can't turn a blind eye to. And so for me, I'm very happy that we made it through January. I'm very happy that we made it through January, girl. I'm very, very happy that we made it to Black History Month. Am I nervous about what the rest of this year has? Yes, I'm not going to lie. I am absolutely nervous, but also very hopeful for what God can do, very hopeful for what we can do as a people. And I hope that February looks a lot brighter for a lot of us. I hope that February eases up a little bit, handle things a little bit more softly in February. With that being said, again, happy Black History Month. Oh my gosh, cue the song, girl. Happy Black History Month. I cannot express the pride I feel in being a Black woman. Waking up and being a Black woman is like hitting a lotto every day. It's like being a part of the coolest, most amazing ass club ever. Like, that's what being a Black woman is like. And I feel extremely lucky to be able to be a part of this culture, to know us, and to be able to love us. And honestly, I think we need that so much right now. We need that so much right now. It is very important this year that we really do Black History Month big, because they are trying to take a lot from us. They're trying to take a lot from us, and continuing to celebrate, continuing to pass down our history, to educate our children, that is a form of resistance. That is a form of showing them, hey, you can take away whatever federal you want, baby. You can take away what you think you're taking, but you're not actually taking shit from around this bitch. That is what I mean by continuing to celebrate, continuing to educate, continuing to be Black and prosperous. There's nothing that I like to see more than Black people prospering and happy. I love a good old Black time. I love a good old Black gathering. I love to see us smiling. I love to see us laughing and dancing and expressing ourselves and innovating and creating, because we are such a beautiful people. We are such a beautiful people, and we do beautiful things when we come together. We can do a lot of amazing, beautiful things when we come together. And Black History Month this year is pivotal because we are in a very, very different time. We're in a very unprecedented time. And this is a show of resistance as well. I really want people to understand that. Collectively, I think we are all fucking tired. But Black joy is your form of resistance. But standing up in a way where you are celebratory of where we came from and what we've seen and what we've done is a form of resistance. Black creativity is a form of resistance. Black innovation is a form of resistance. Black unity is a form of resistance. Black connectivity is a form of resistance. And that is what we need to be focused on in this Black History Month. Being very Black, very proud, very loud, and smiling and dancing and laughing loud as fuck. Like, that is what we need to focus on this month, to show them like, hey, you think that you took something from me, but actually you didn't. Actually, you just tapped into the inner resilience that is just built into my fucking DNA as a Black person. I really love Black History Month. It is one of my favorite things to celebrate, actually. February is my favorite month because it is a time where we can really be unabashedly, unapologetically Black. And mind you, we're that year round, but this month we are extra Black. This month we are extra proud. We are extra intentional about teaching our children about their history. We're extra intentional about educating ourselves and each other. We're extra intentional about celebrating how far we have come. How far we have come. And that's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. It is extremely important to note that Black History Month is not just about going over the hardships of our past and reflecting on what we've overcome. It is about celebrating, baby. It's about celebrating the beauty that is Black people, the creativity, the innovation, everything that we have been able to do despite the odds being stacked against us, in every way in which we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, despite the system being completely against us, girl. Imagine you being a person where everything is meant for you to fail, but you succeed anyway. That's what it's like being a Black person in America. Imagine being born into a world in which they don't want to see you prosper. They don't want to see you successful. They don't want to see you happy and joyful, but you do it anyway. That's what it's like to be Black in America. That's what it's like. That is what Black History Month is about. Celebrating resilience, celebrating smiling even through everything we've been through. That is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If there's nothing more beautiful than that, I don't know what it is, girl. So this Black History Month, if you are Black, baby, I want you to stand up and really, really, really be proud, really, really be extra Black, and really, really, really dive into what got us here. With that being said, I was recently on Threads and I read one that said, essentially, this is none of our business. We need to stay out of this. And for those people, specifically, for the Black people who still believe that this is none of our business, that we just need to stay out of it, that we did our part simply by voting the way that we did, and people just didn't listen to us, I really need you to get out of that mindset. It's Black History Month, baby. If you think we could get to where we are right now with the mindset you have, you are surely mistaken, okay? If you think we didn't concern ourselves with the plights of others, with the plights of things that aren't affecting us directly, right? That we could have got to where we are right now, baby, you're mistaken. The spirit of Black History Month is about concerning yourself with injustice and pushing against it. So for the Black people who still believe that, this has nothing to do with us. We voted and we did what we needed to do. So I'm just going to go back to sleep. Baby, wake up. Wake up, girl. Okay? Not this month. I actually don't want to see any Black people talking about how ICE is none of their concern or they don't have to do anything because they voted the way they did and they did their part. Girl, please. Not in Black History Month. Not in the month in which we celebrate the fact that our ancestors concerned themselves with the plights of others, that our ancestors concerned themselves so much with creating a world more just that they could not sit back and watch anyone suffer injustices and discrimination and harm, especially state harm, girl. I need you to get up. I need you to get up. I need you to get up, please. Black History Month and Black history in general is proof that Black Americans have just as much stake in America as anyone else, okay? It belongs to us. This shit is ours, so you need to participate. You need to act like it belongs to you. When you start acting like America doesn't belong to you, you start feeding into what they tell you. You feed into them saying, oh, this isn't your shit. You're just here as like an NPC. You're a fucking third party in this bitch. But no, actually, this belongs to us. My ancestors died for this shit. They bled for this shit. They marched for this shit. They put their lives and their livelihoods on the line so that I could be right here on this app talking to you. I really need you to stand up. I understand being exhausted as a Black person in America, but that doesn't absolve you from having to participate in this shit. You have to participate. You have to participate. And it's extremely important because nothing can move or shift without us. There's so much that I can say. But I really would hope that the spirit of Black History Month, the spirit of, really being Black and proud is on all of us. It really saddens me when I see some Black people and some of the takes that I've seen on social media from Black people and people of color. It's very disheartening. I don't know. I think the lights are on, but nobody's fucking home over there, girl. This year for Black History Month, I really, really want us to dive into what it means to be Black in America, what it means to be a descendant of people who really railed against the status quo, that really railed against injustices, that really railed against a regime and a government hell-bent against them, because this is a time in which we are under a regime and a government hell-bent against us. Take some time this month to reflect. Take some time this month to be Black and joyful. Black and joyful, girl. That too. Because like I said, that's a form of resistance. But also just think about what we have done to make it this far. What our people did in times that we consider worse than now, in times that we consider harder than now, right? What they did to get through these difficult moments where they're seeing people being unalived, when they're seeing injustice, you know what I'm saying? How did they manage those things? What was their response? And historically, what impacts have their contributions made, and what contributions can we make? Because we're making our history now. As Black people right now, we are making history right now. Every day you wake up and you show up as a Black person, you're making history. Every day you wake up and you choose activism, you're making history. Every day that you participate in helping your neighbor and doing the right thing, baby, you're making history. And I really, really want us to dive into that this month and really, really embrace that, really, really relish in that. And again, be Black, be merry, be proud as fuck. I hope that wasn't too much of a rant and a ramble. If you know, you know. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, shout out to my man who got me this shirt. It's Malcolm X, and he has a, is this a machine gun or is it an assault rifle? But it's Malcolm X with this rifle, and it says mood. And that's really how I'm coming into Black History Month, because I think it's about time to shake the table a little bit. And activism shows up in many, many forms, girl. Continuing to post, continuing to share, continuing to talk about it is also activism. Continuing to smile, continuing to thrive, and continuing to live is also activism. So, I hope I conveyed that message well enough for you. I know you're probably wondering what you can expect from season 7 of Let Me Just Say This. And let me just say this. I will continue to be unabashedly honest and candid with you guys about life, about relationships, love. We are still going to be talking about dating topics. We're still going to be talking about, commentary from what's going on in the interwebs, girl, on Beyonce's internet, girl. We're still going to be talking about those things, but we're also going to get very real. And I want every episode to be associated with the lesson. Like I want every episode to be linked back to this season's theme, which for me personally is discipline over motivation. And I chose that as a theme this season because that is the era that I'm in. I think it's the era that a lot of us are in which we have all these dreams. We have all these things we want to do. You know, we may be motivated, but we may not be disciplined. And discipline really is the reason why we're not successful sometimes. Discipline is the reason why we don't have the life that we want sometimes. And while we may be motivated, we're not always disciplined and we don't always follow through and we don't always stay on our grind or lock in. And like I said, January was a month I wanted to lock in a lot more and I did not. And I'm trying to remind myself of what we're doing here, what I'm doing this for, you know? And this season, I want to reflect that in the content that I gave you guys. I want to give you guys content that feeds you, not just entertains you, but feeds your soul and your mind, while also giving you a little laughy laugh. We're going to have some fun over here. Of course, we always do. But I will say some of the more trivial topics, I think I've outgrown. And I think that's just the cost of growth. Sometimes when you grow, baby, you outgrow people and things. People, things, topics, foods, you outgrow a lot of shit. And I have outgrown the trivial topics. I've outgrown the stupid debates. There's so much more to life, and there's so much more that deserves a moment to be spoken about, that deserves a spotlight and a microphone. And so, you know, again, we're going to get into social commentary still, but I definitely am. You don't expect me to be on that like season 2, season 3, Naya, you know, back and forth relationship bullshit. I'm over that. With that being said, I am indeed in a relationship. I'm very happy. It is a recent development, girl, and I'm protecting that right now. But I think eventually we'll do a hard launch, girl. Eventually everybody will know. I mean, the people in our personal lives, obviously, you know, they know. But I'm really interested in protecting my love life. And I know I said in the past that I wasn't going to talk about my love life as it's ongoing. And you can expect that to continue. But with that being said, you can expect a little bit of a different take from me on certain topics because Miss Mommy's in a different era. I'm in a different stage of my life. I got put up. I got somebody that love me now. And I really want to share the changes and the things that I've learned through this new experience that I'm in with you guys. So you can expect that as well this season. With all that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope it fed your soul. I hope it gave you a little laughy laugh. And I hope it gave you some pride, especially if you are listening to this in a Black body. I want you to know I love you. I love us. We are so amazing and wonderful and beautiful. And every day you wake up Black, you are waking up blessed. Okay? We have the same upload schedule, so you can expect an audio on Tuesday evening and the visual to come out Wednesday. And I really want to thank you guys for continuing to rock with me. I miss you guys so much. And I cannot wait to share what else we have in store this season. So I will see you guys in the next one.